Geraldo Rivera joins us now from Forward Operating Base Blessing in Afghanistan. Geraldo, thanks for coming. I guess you're getting up there in the middle of the night. This is just tremendous. We appreciate it. Geraldo, first of all, who's all around you?
Well, these are the men of the 1st Battalion, 1st Brigade of the legendary 101st Airborne, Juan. This is Lieutenant Colonel Joe Ryan. He is the battalion commander. We are up here in the hills where they are taking the fight to the enemy. The old days, pre-surge, where the enemy had safe havens up here, no longer exists. And later on in this hit, I'm going to ask Colonel Ryan to describe Bulldog Bite. These are the Bulldog Battalion. They just went out and bit the enemy right on the tail, Juan. Let me just say on a personal note that I'm very glad that you didn't go over to the dark side. Then I realized you and I are the dark side. So at least up here we're boycotting public radio, national public radio. Because I know you get scared when you see me on the plane too there, buddy. But put that aside. I want you, seriously, for these guys to let the nation know that, General Petraeus is very diplomatic. He's very measured in his comments. But I have to say that in the time I've been here on this, my 9th trip to Afghanistan, I really see the momentum shifting from the bad guys, Juan, to our side and our Afghan allies. There may be dysfunction in the government up in Kabul, but down here these guys are fighting the good fight, and the enemy knows it, Juan.
But Geraldo, let me ask you about the strategy, General Petraeus' strategy of trying to build some kind of society there that would act as an alternative to the Taliban, and the fact that the U.S. has increased the number of drone attacks over in Pakistan. How's it playing out on the ground for our good and loyal troops?
Well, that's an interesting question, Juan, because just as Bulldog Bite, tell me just a bit, Colonel, about Bulldog Bite. Tell me militarily what you did on that operation.
Well, it was a large battalion operation, and it was probably the largest one we've run since we've been here. And really the intent for the operation was to disrupt the enemy where he lives. He spent a lot of the summer disrupting us and the people of Afghanistan, the people of this province, Kunar province, where we live and where those people live. And we decided during Bulldog Bite, now it was time to go get the enemy where he lives.
Now tell me, Juan asks about more of the nation-building stuff. What else are you doing to help these people to convince them to come over to the good guys?
Yeah, well, it's an ongoing process, and without security, you got to start with security first, and that's what Bulldog Bite was really all about. And you got to provide that security for the people so they feel safe and doing other things with you. We work through the government with everything. We've got to empower the Afghan government to do these things for their own people. They'll never trust it long term if we do it. So we've got to teach and mentor the Afghan government to do it.
Do you think that you have sensed, you've been here half a year now, have you sensed the swing?
Recently we have. I mean, the summer fighting season is the normal fighting season around here, and with some recent offensive operations, I think we have sensed a swing. I mean, we can tell based on reporting from the recent offensive operations that it's going real well.
Okay. Juan, I also want to add, and I think this is very important, that July 2011 withdrawal date,
yeah,
that thing is written on the charts that say conditions on the ground. I have already met the replacements for these guys coming in 6 months from now. So that's all lined up, Juan. So I suspect that the July 2011 date is a date when they will assess what the situation is, but certainly not begin any meaningful withdrawal.
I've got 60 seconds, so I just want to ask you very quickly. We know about increased terror alerts, especially in Europe. We know about the increase in the drone attacks in Pakistan. How's that impacting what the soldiers are doing in Afghanistan?
Well, I have to say, without asking them opinions about the drone attacks, I am a huge fan of the drone attacks. Pakistan's just a couple of miles from here. It's so easy for them to come, commit mayhem and murder, and retreat back to their Pakistani sanctuaries. The drones, with the help of some elements of the Pakistani security forces, are denying them, or beginning to deny them, safe haven. And that's what his boss, Colonel Andrew Pappas of the 1st Brigade of the 101st, is letting the world know. There will no longer be safe havens for the Taliban enemy. We are going to drive them by hook or by crook to the negotiating table, because that's the only way our forces are ever going to get out of these mountains.
So the drone attacks are working and helping in this situation, and we should be supporting them here at home.
Well, I certainly support them 100%. There are aspects of American foreign policy that I'm not crazy about, but the drone attacks are not one of them. I am unequivocal about that. They are crucial to accomplishing the mission. You cannot allow an enemy to kill you and then retreat home and go to the drive-in movies.
Thanks so much. Please give the troops our heartfelt thanks. Up next, should Americans be forced to